Mm. No gym today. I feel terrible still. Waking up, still feeling bad. Firm believer that you gotta be like 100% to go to the gym, so it's 6 a.m. and I'm just here. Uh, I was with this last night and this morning. I woke up at like 5:30 and kind of was ruminating. I was chilling in my bed, and that's what I can't do. Um, and this is the topic. Is me, my brain. Uh, and this is why I think New York City is so good for me, is because there's so much quote unquote sound. But my brain sucks. Like, I inherently go crazy very quickly when I'm not driven, focused on something. Like, I can't just chill like that. I'm my own worst enemy by far, and I've learned that over the past 2 years. Yeah, so basically this morning, chilling in bed, and I just start sitting, thinking. And I think a good analogy my therapist that I went to in upstate New York gave it was like wind. And he was like, small gust here and there. I'm sick. I'm not like joking up or anything. Small gust here and there, it's all fine. Wind is wind. But then when wind becomes too much and out of control, you can't control it. It's a tornado. And that happens in my brain if wind are my thoughts. Thoughts happen all the time. You don't think twice about it, subconscious and conscious thoughts. And then for me, very quickly, many different thoughts become so not only conscious, but so like obsessive. Like, I can't not think about them until I do something else. So that's why I have a bunch, like, I have tasks I like to do. Like, I'm very, I don't know. Like, that's trying to keep me away from letting my mind spoil the goods. So yeah, that's interesting, right? Another term for it, OCD. So, and I've never I've only ever said those words on this little pod thing. Like, I've never talked to my family about having OCD. Like, I don't know. I'm not a. Is it like a real? I don't know. It's real, not real. It's obviously real. I can tell you that, but it's not like. Okay, here's a little anecdote. When I was younger, when I was in seventh and eighth grade, I remember hearing about anxiety, and I literally was like, "What anxiety? Like, what? Just your thoughts are so bad? Like, man up." Like, that was literally my thought. It was like, man up. Like, you don't. And then in 10th grade, just 10th to like sophomore year of college, just the worst anxiety. Even like a year, like, just brutal. And then I learned to deal with it more. And then I also learned about a year ago a bit more that, oh, well, half of my thoughts aren't even like real. Like, I just have them because my brain likes to do that. So I used to not think. I used to like think when I was just young and ignorant, like, oh yeah, mental health is a joke. It's no joke. Let me tell you that. And so I've been great here being in the city, being busy and stuff. But then over the last week, I've been sick. I haven't been able to go to the gym. I haven't been eating well, and direct correlation: mental health slip. Mental health has been slipping. Um, so it's interesting, right? It's like, all right, so that's just good for me to know. I need to be doing the things I normally do. Like, getting out of the bed in the morning has not been easy. Like, 2 weeks ago, 5 o'clock comes by and I'm jumping out of bed. Now it's 5:30. I want to snooze. 5:45, 6, and I've been sick. But even when I'm sick, the mental health can still slip, which sucks. Your brain doesn't wait for your body to be good, is what I'm learning now. And I haven't gone to the gym in like a week, in 2, 3 days, and I am like, ugh. So yeah, that's just interesting. And I think a big part about like what maybe a misconception is like OCD is just like cleaning, or just like OCD is just obsessive compulsive disorder. I have closer to what they call pure O, which is just I don't compulse. I'm not really like there's less compulsions for me, and it's more just the mental game is just always spinning. Um, so what my therapist has said, they call it pure O because your thoughts are really just brutal. But I never act on anything, and I don't have as bad of thoughts as what I know OCD can present to one's individual, um, to one's person. Some of my thoughts suck, yeah, for sure. There's a good book, Don't Believe Everything You Think. Uh, I don't know who got it for me. I have it. I'm gonna reread it. I read it a bit ago, and it's like our mind is a powerful computer, and you can't believe everything you think. So, yeah, that's interesting. And I think a good example recently has been me with relationships. Just transparently, it's been this thing where I grew up watching an unhealthy relationship unfold, and so I already have a negative conception of relationships in general. And this is something I've battled through thick and thin. No, I've just, I don't have the greatest relationship role models. Uh, and so in the dating world now, when I'm trying to look at people, I'm like, oh, do I want to date her? Do I want to date her? It's like, I just don't trust myself. And so a funny thing is, this is super funny. I've been getting crushes more. This is just a full on therapy pod today. But I don't care. Don't care at all. Whatever. Um, so I've been meeting more people, more obviously, and it's like, oh, this girl's cool. Maybe I'll talk to her. Maybe I do or don't. And if I do, my OCD recently has been like crazy in the fact where it's like it won't let me not think about either said person or hypothetical relationship with a person. Doesn't have to be anyone in particular. And it like takes like hours of my day of just like mental wreck. This now I'm sounding crazy, but it's me. It's like it's my brain, and then it's like thinking about good, the bad, the ugly, the future, the past, my issues, possibly their issues. I will see a cute girl out and talk to her for 5 minutes, and the next day not have her number. I will think about relationship, like future, the past, what her home was probably like. I'm a psycho, is what I'm just saying. And like at this point, I'm a psycho. I don't know. It sucks. I can't control. Like I could take medicine. I could go back on medicine, but the medicine didn't seem great. And now that I'm speaking more, I don't want to post this, but I will. Um, I think it's a good insight to who I am. Like I'm the same. I can listen to a song 1,000 times in a row, just because I obsess over it. So yeah, that's been recently stemming up in my life more. Like my mental health has been on the decline because I think I haven't like I've just been sick, and this sucks. And this I think is like a on my way back, but I haven't been able to work out. But like my thought process is different. I know it's different than other people. Like people are like, okay, let's just take something trivial. Not trivial. Let's just take something like, oh, yesterday, this is a perfect example. Yesterday I was walking with my boss, and he poses the question, why does wind make us colder? I thought about that question for the next hour in my brain. First, it's like, all right, why does wind make us colder? Well, usually our body temperatures are going to be higher than the outside world, so that makes sense. When wind is blowing that to us, naturally we're going to be colder. And then I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like that, like logically trying to check things off in my brain. And then my next thought is, but what if the wind's warmer? Like, it feels usually like even hot wind still feels a bit colder. But I'm like, well, maybe, if it's moving right onto us, does it heat? Like, if wind is blowing and it's warm, does it heat us up? I'm like, well, yeah, there's warm wind. So then I obviously check off, like, all right, if warm wind is warm, then see, I'm doing it. And but in my brain, it is exponentially faster. Like, in a second, I have all, and I just go and go and go. And there's no, like, I'm just a gazelle in the open, just running. A cheetah in the, not the Sahara. I'm just sprinting. My mind is just going with it. And then I ended up thinking of the actual answer. Because I was watching a Huberman pod the other day, and he was talking about thermal layers on humans, and he was talking about ice baths and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, well, even like here, like right now, I have a thermal layer of just where my body is, radiating its own heat, and the wind pierces that. And then obviously, when a cold object and a hot object, heat is always going to go to the colder object, which would be us after piercing our thermal layer. I think I didn't look at but that makes sense to me, so I think I know the answer. And like that was a question he asked yesterday, and I spent an hour of my conscious thought walking home after for 20 minutes after he asked, and I'm still talking. Like that thought is still like, it's not so conscious where I'm thinking about it, but I can do this, which is talk about my thoughts clearly and remember them. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Welcome to the most vulnerable I've ever been on one of these things. This probably won't happen again. Quick little 12-minute, 15-minute thing. But I don't know. I think it's a good insight. I think this is more purely for Tom, so he can be like, "Oh, this kid's retarded." No, yes, but I think it just gives an insight to who a bit more I am. Um, it isn't. I think is important. So, yeah, there's that. There is that. And I think a lot about everything. Like, I wish I could just think less. Would be so nice. But everything is a mind game. And sometimes I try not to try, and trying not to try means I'm trying to not try. Ugh. No mental break over here. Uh, there's always something. And then when I don't do anything, like when I just consume, I go crazy. Like I can't was watching a bunch of video. I played over there because I was sick right behind me, and I was sick and miserable. My brain was just like, "What are we doing?" But my brain capacity is lower, and I can't do anything when I'm sick, and I'm just like dead, like I said. But then as soon as I get better, it's like my brain forgets we were sick, and it's like, why aren't we doing the things we normally do? Which is where I'm at right now. I'm like, all right, well, like I still can't breathe out of my nose. I'm not gonna go lift weights. Uh, and I don't want to get anyone else sick. Okay, so yeah, that's that. That's OCD Kale, I guess. Explaining my mental because I think it feels good to get off the chest, as if I've been hiding anything. I could talk to anyone about this I wanted to, but also it's sometimes I don't know. But yeah, it's been bad the past week, so I think this feels good to get it off my chest. I do have to figure out a therapist here in New York. I am going to message a couple people and figure that out in the next week or so. Uh, but yeah, I'm sick. I still can't breathe. I still can't breathe out of my nose. Woke up this morning at 5. I was like, gonna go to the gym. Got ready. I was like walking around. I was like, I still feel like shit. I'm not gonna go. And then I couldn't fall asleep last night, so I'm just laying in my bed with my thoughts. Ugh, I gotta start listening to this podcast called "I Can't Sleep," where this guy just reads Wikipedia articles. That's all he does, and you can just fall asleep to his monotone, terrible voice. Do I sound sick? I feel like I feel so sick. I feel worse today than I did yesterday, which sucks. But okay, peace.